Hi. Last weekend I spent a lot of time shuffling my orchids in preparation for winter. We actually got our first snow yesterday. Yikes. It's getting cold and it means that plants need to move. That windowsill was actually the place where my cattleyas were exclusively because that's the sunniest point of all this setup. So the cattleyas were there for the summer. But now it's getting colder and close to glass it will be really cold, which makes it perfect place for the dendrobiums that need to rest for winter. And so I moved my dendrobiums, and before that dendrobiums were on those shelves hanging down. And so I have my this is the Nobili cross from Beverly. It's gonna be wintering here. And then there is the aggregatum from Rescutzal, which grew me a pretty nice fat bulb, actually 3 of them this season. Let's see if we can, there, this is a new bulb there, and 2 beside. So I'm hoping for the blooms, if I will be able to keep it happy resting. I think I need to withhold water a lot on this one and make the bulbs like almost shriveling. So I'll try to do that. And that's my Dendrobium lodi, which grew really nicely this season. I think this plant doubled or tripled in size in just one season. Look how many nice bulbs or canes it produced, and all those roots. And so yeah, I think this one needs a winter rest too. And that's the Jenkinsii, which last year actually tried to produce some spikes, but they rotted because I think I started to water it too early. So this time I need to be more careful and don't start to water too early. But actually it did spend time last winter in the same conditions on the windowsill, just like this. So I'm doing it this year again. And that's the second Nobili Dendrobium from Beverly. This one I had since last summer, and it bloomed for me in the spring. And it spent the last winter on the windowsill again in the same conditions, so I'm doing it again. And there is Parishii, which I think is, needs the winter rest too. And beside is Trantuanii, and I'm not sure if it needs winter rest or not. I need to do research. I also have a couple Dendrobiums in my Vanda universe. This is mostly Vanda place, but this is my Dendrobium anosma. And it's here simply because there was no more room to put it in the orchid room, and I think it will have more space here. And today it had pretty good growth season. It grew me a cane that is longer than previous, which I think it's a good sign. It's not extremely fat cane, but it's finished growing. See, the end is pretty much finished. And I think now if it will rest properly, it will probably, maybe, possibly, hopefully bloom, because it did not bloom last year. But I hope for blooms this spring. And another one is the Aphyllum. Same thing, it grew me a nice bulb right there. That's the newest one, the leaves. But this one bloomed from me. In the spring, this cane bloomed. And it did not lose leaves for some reason, so I'm wondering if this time it'll lose leaves or not. But the previous 2, the older ones, they're leafless. So we'll see. I think this one, since it bloomed last time, it should bloom too. But anosma didn't, so I hope it will. So those are only 2 Dendrobiums that I have here. And the cattleyas, who used to be on the window, now they're all here. Hopefully they still get the sun. They should here. And like, I don't see anything exciting happening on them beside this big Cattleya Skinneri that I received from Beverly that has 1, 2, and 3 new canes, which they have sheath. So maybe I will get the blooms on that Cattleya. Others are just well, they doing stuff, but like, for example, this is Rincolella digbiana, and it started new bulb. I don't know why would you start a new bulb with winter coming, but that's what I did. So they're kind of weird, but I'll just water when dry and see what happens. And the miniature cattleyas are on a shelf. There's my white bridal, which I think now it's resting after the blooming. That's the one that I bought as Maxima, which is quite small for being Maxima, but who knows. That's the Syncorana, and oops, and the little Laelia Alavori is there, and there's Ludimaniana. So all my cattleyas are here. I tried to put them inside a tank, but promptly they started to develop the black spots on the canes. Like, I'll show you what I mean. See that black at the base, the bottom? This is Cattleya vestalis, and I tried to put her inside of tank, and that's what happened. So I think it's too humid maybe there in a tank. So I decided to keep cattleyas here. I also have some Dendrobiums that are not gonna move because they are good as they are all year round. This is Hibiki. It feels perfectly fine inside of tank. It blooms non-stop. Right now it's growing a new cane right there, and actually this one here is continuing to grow. So this one is staying in the tank permanently and is fine there. Then I have, this is the Scabrilingue, which also does fine in a tank. And just yesterday I noticed, where are they? Oh yeah, there. See, their little black eyes appeared. It's hard to focus. There. On the old cane, there are 2 actually on another side. So it's gonna be either the buds or the keikis, and I will be happy if like anything will be there. And this is my, again, that one blooms and grows very well inside of tank, so I'm not moving it. This is my new Cristiano that I just bought from Tropical Garden, and it's doing really good inside of tank. It's growing 1, 2, 3 new canes. Now hopefully it will bloom in here. I'll see. If it doesn't bloom in here and if it needs to get out to cold or colder conditions, I might do it next year, but for this year I'll just grow it the same as my Scabrilingue. I'm assuming they are kind of similar, so if that one blooms in a tank, maybe this one will too. And what else I have? Oh, that's my Dendrobium sinile, which grew me 2 canes this year. I'm gonna try to keep it inside of tank. I think it likes it in there. And the last one of Dendrobiums in this area that is staying in a tank is Tubainze. Again, this one doesn't need anything, any rest or any changes in conditions. it just bloomed, being constantly in a tank, and so it will stay here for the winter. I think it started to grow new cane. Yeah, right there, new growth. Now a small update on my new plants from antique orchids. This is Dimorphorchis rossii, and I arranged it this way instead of standing. Remember, at the beginning it was standing in a tank, but this part, like the whole plant, looks like a crescent, and this part was bending too much, and it was leaning on a door, on a glass door here, and every time I would open door I would bother this plant, which I didn't really like. So I thought that eventually I will actually break it. So I decided to put it this way, because this way I don't need to even move it to water. All I do is just twice a day I spray the roots. I just put little clothes behind on this basket, just to prevent water getting on my files behind. And I spray the roots, and then they dry out, and then so I do it in the morning first, then around lunchtime I spray it again. So I'm creating couple wet dry intervals for it, hoping that it will help to start growing roots actually. So I just sprayed it like 5 minutes ago or so. And well, it looks okay for now. This leaf, see, that's what I mean. This leaf was breaking, and it even started to get black. I put the dragon blood on it. I bought dragon blood from Amazon. Prescott suggested it, that it's good for rotting, to stop the rotting. And see, it sealed the wound on the leaf, and it doesn't spread that black stuff. And yeah, I think maybe since the shape of the growth is this kind of crescent, maybe that's how it was growing before getting to me. And it doesn't really matter if it's standing or if it's sideways. For me, it doesn't matter. So I decided to put it this way. And here is another Dimorphorchis lowii, which I might actually lose, because it was also standing in a basket here, and at some point suddenly this part became bendy and wiggly. Right at this point it started to bend. I wasn't sure what happened. There was another leaf here, and I thought maybe in between the leaves there's a rot. Maybe the stem is rotting. So I removed the leaf, but it was clean. So there was no rot on the surface, but maybe it's inside, or maybe it just bent because it was limp, because the roots are not much there. So I kind of arranged it this way, so I don't have to move it too much. So it's fixed there, and I water again with spraying the roots twice a day, in the morning and around lunchtime. And yeah, we'll see if this leaf will continue to grow and the new leaf appears, then we're good. If not, then I'll lose it. And the third plant from this purchase was this Paraphalaenopsis, which I potted into moss, and effectively it rotted all the roots, and some of the black started to be on the base. So I cleaned it up. I put some hydrogen peroxide, and I put some dragon's blood. See, I bought dragon's blood, now I put it everywhere. Now I'll wait. That black stuff, that's dragon blood, I think. So I'll wait until it dries up really nicely and all the wounds healed, and then I'll put it inside of moss again. But I don't want to put it in the moss now because it will continue to rot. So yeah, that was a small update on my new plants, my winter project to keep them alive. They're still alive. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.